A sim that we thought is dead returns with new content, PlayStation users finally get a new option in terms of wheels and pedals, and it seems like we actually see the IndyCar game that was promised to us years ago materialize under a new studio. My name is Rene, and as you can see, there had been plenty of news in August to talk about, so let's dive right in. The very first days of August saw a premiere for Le Mans Ultimate. The long-awaited online driver swaps made their debut in a special event, the 6 Hours of Qatar. With the feature not available outside of special events just yet, this served as a test run for the official WEC sim. Could it handle team events? Of course, we had to take part ourselves. Michael, Yannick, Sven and OverTake Community member Kevin Vennett hopped in a Toyota hypercar to tackle the challenge, even ending up in the top split of the very first time slot. Driver swaps worked flawlessly, and the only issue the quartet encountered was a bug that prevented the car from being repaired for a couple of stints, although the option magically appeared later on. In general, it was an enjoyable experience though, and after P9 finish, Team OverTake is already looking forward to more. The next LMU team event will be the 6 Hours of Qatar from September 5th to 7th. Meanwhile, the Le Mans Virtual Series is expected to return in 2026, and ELMS content should be close to release as well, including Silverstone, Paul Ricard, and Catalonia as new tracks. Following its late July release of the Endurance Pack Part 3 DLC for Automobilista 2 and the corresponding update, developer Reiza Studios decided to tidy up the DLC structure of the sim a bit. Some content, like the Racing USA DLC that came in multiple packs, has been consolidated, and a new IMSA DLC pack has been added to the Steam store as well. Meanwhile, most track DLC is not available individually anymore, but rather as part of the premium track pack, Le Mans and the 2025 version of the Nürburgring being the exceptions. All of this did not affect any previously bought content though, and no content was pulled from the store either. Seemingly out of nowhere, Reiza also chucked out another update including 2 new cars to the end of the month. The latest version now features an updated Formula V as well as the Ligier JSP4, complementing the JS2R to complete the Ligier European Series. With update 0.3 being delayed from its original July release window, Kunos kept the news coming for Assetto Corsa EVO throughout August. First, the studio confirmed the Audi R6 Avant to be added, then it outlined the full scope of what 0.3 will set out to be, including the previously teased Ferrari F2004. Reworked tire and suspension physics plus performance improvements were the main features on the list, while the arrival of online multiplayer was the star of the show. Michael tried it out as soon as it became available and had quite some fun with it. To end the month, Kunos then decided to release AC EVO 0.3 in beta form for everyone to enjoy before the update was deployed to the game's main branch. If it still isn't out yet as you're watching this video, check out our instructions on how to access the open beta here. All you need is to have bought the early access version of the game. The release of Rennsport is drawing closer, with the console versions published by NACON set to hit the shelves in September already. Leading up to this, 3 new GT3 cars were announced for the title. The all-new Porsche 911 GT3R EVO 992 is joined by the McLaren 720S GT3 EVO and the Ford Mustang GT3. Once the title is actually releasing, its current free-to-play model will be no more, although a free demo will be released as well. Those who bought the Founders Edition in Early Access will receive the base game at no extra cost, and if you bought the Diamond Founders Pack, you will have access to the Deluxe Edition. Content you already bought will also be still playable in the full release version. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of a change that late in the product in terms of their pricing. Big thanks to this month's supporter of the new show, NACON, whose new RS Pure bundle is now up for grabs. Straight 4 Studios and Giant Software also didn't hold back with news regarding Project Motor Racing. First, the Audi R8 LMP 900 was confirmed to be at Gamescom as in the actual 2002 Le Mans winning prototype. Then, the Lamborghini Murcielago RGT was confirmed to join its GT1 brethren in the game. Even better, PMR was playable at Gamescom too. But before that opened its door, the same build could be enjoyed at the OverTake office already as part of our annual community night on the eve of Gamescom. Thanks to Strat 4 and Giants providing us with the software, we were able to run multiple rigs with PMR and even hosted a leaderboard competition to showcase the newly confirmed Porsche 911 GT1 from 1998. The car was part of the announcement that Porsche would be in PMR, including iconic cars such as the 970K or the 962C, as well as Aston Martin and Ford as manufacturers. The previously teased Nürburgring Nordschleife was also confirmed. As mentioned, our OverTake Community Night took place for the second time already, kicking off Gamescom week in style. Like in 2024, we welcomed a number of OverTake community members as well as people from the sim racing and automotive industries. The result was a great chill evening, full of awesome chats, the aforementioned Project Motor Racing preview, food, drinks, and a lot of happy faces. It was great to see an even bigger turnout than last year, and we are immensely proud that our community night has started to become a tradition many in our sim racing space are looking forward to. We also had Sensor demonstrate their haptic feedback hardware, System show their prototype for making movies and games smellable, and the recently unveiled Porsche 911 Cup car was parked outside. Fittingly, VPG was there too, with the sim racing version of the car's steering wheel plus the Ford Mustang GT3 wheel for our guests to try. We're already looking forward to making Community Night 2026 even more awesome. When Gamescom finally opened its doors, MOZA Racing had plenty of announcements teed up and ready to go. The hardware manufacturer had already posted a teaser featuring a motorcycle a few days earlier, but that did not mean bike racing hardware at Gamescom yet. Instead, a hardware partnership with MotoGP was announced, with signs pointing to MotoGP 26 being the first title to benefit from the upcoming hardware. That wasn't the only partnership MOZA announced in Cologne though. The other major one sees them cooperate with German car giant Mercedes-Benz, also for 2026. Could this mean licensed hardware like a Mercedes-AMG GT3 steering wheel? We can't wait to find out. What was actually unveiled at Gamescom were two new wheelbases, and they slot in right at the top of the MOZA food chain. The MOZA Racing R21 Ultra DD and R25 Ultra True Torque DD models are the new flagship wheelbases, sporting upgraded internals and a new look. The R25 is set to retail for €999, with the new R21 coming in below at that with €799. With Le Mans Ultimate being the clear focus for Studio 397 and Motorsport Games, sim racers were surprised when on August 18th, Circuit Zolder was teased to be coming to the duo's previous effort rFactor 2. The track was eventually released on August 26th. Interestingly, it was not created by Studio 397 themselves, but rather Frederic Alonso, who worked closely with Circuit Zolder to create a highly detailed and up-to-date version of the former home of the Belgian Grand Prix. With the track being a third-party project, there's potential for it to pop up in other sims as well. We'll keep a close eye on Zolder-based editions in the near future. What will make us immensely happy in the immediate future will be the sound of the subscribe button and notification bell being clicked by you if you haven't done so already. Every subscription, like and share helps our channel, so if you like what we're doing here on OverTake, we'd be very grateful if you could spread the word. But now, back to the August news roundup. Like every year, iRacing is due to deploy its Season 4 release in September. Accordingly, a preview of what's to come was in order in late August, and the upcoming build looked like it's going to pack quite a punch yet again. Content additions include the Dallara IL15 Indy Next car, the Aston Martin Vantage GT3 EVO, and the Ford Mustang GT4, as well as the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez as a new track. The long-awaited reworked AI is also set to debut in Season 4 as our new VR and AI racing features, accurate hybrid systems for the GTP hypercars, and the conclusion of the NASCAR Refresh project. On a less hardcore sim note, iRacing also announced iRacing Arcade to be released on PC later this year, with console versions to follow in early 2026. Created in cooperation with Circuit Superstar developer Original Fire Games, the title will put a more light-hearted, over-the-top spin on things. The first teaser showed stylized recreations of Barber Motorsports Park and Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City, as well as GTP, FF1600 and Porsche Cup cars. The bigger game reveal by iRacing, however, was without a doubt that of a standalone IndyCar game for 2026. Fans had been hoping to get a sim of the premier open-wheel series in the US for years, and were relatively close when Motorsport Games had the license for the series, but the project ultimately fell through. Now, with the IndyCar series license back with iRacing, the first dedicated game of the series in what will be a hardly believable 22 years is planned to be released on PC, including Steam Deck compatibility, Xbox, and PlayStation. To date, 2004's console-only IndyCar Series 2005 by Codemaster is the last licensed IndyCar title ever released. To put that into context, in 2004, American open wheel racing was still split into the IRL and Champ Car. Michael Schumacher had just won his 7th F1 World Championship title, and the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2 were the state-of-the-art consoles to have. So you could say, it's about time. Speaking of consoles, French hardware manufacturer and publisher NACON is pushing its sim racing efforts on both Xbox and PlayStation systems. Already acting as the publisher for Rennsport, it recently introduced REVOSIM Pure line of sim racing hardware will be compatible with consoles. With this, NACON joins a selected few hardware manufacturers whose gear works on PC and both sides of the console fence, such as Logitech, Thrustmaster, and Fanatec. That said, Asetek showed its Xbox-compatible hardware for the first time at Gamescom, or at least the entry-level bundle called Initium will be compatible with Microsoft's console later on. At less than €700, sim racers get an expandable 2-pedal set, a 5.5 Nm direct drive wheelbase, and a round steering wheel. Finally, as if we needed more confirmation that sim racing hardware is a rather popular thing these days, Gamescom also saw a new kid on the racing gear block. Thermaltake, usually known for its PC components and peripherals like keyboards and gamepads, has decided to branch out. Not just a little, but by going all in. In Cologne, the company showed a plethora of different sim racing peripherals, including a 50 Nm direct drive wheelbase, a Formula-style wheel with a big display, and different pedal sets. Certainly an unexpected play on the sim racing market, but we are already interested in trying the gear ourselves to find out how it stacks up against the competition. With Gamescom in the books, our sights are firmly set on Chicago now. From September 5th to 7th, that's where Sim Gaming Expo is set to take place, the first event of this kind in the United States. Sim racing will play a big part of the event, of course, but it is the place to be for fans of all kinds of simulation gaming, be it flight, trucking, or anything else you can imagine. OverTake is going to be on site, even with our own booth to serve as the community hub, so make sure to stop by and say hi if you're there. Plenty of cool exhibitors and competitions await, including some of the biggest names in sim racing and other sim genres, so there will be something for everyone. Still undecided about going? If you do spring for a last-minute ticket, make sure to use our code OverTake10 to save 10% on your order. Premium members can even save 20%. Check out one of our latest exhibitor highlights to find out how. And once again, this concludes a month full of sim racing news. Plenty of interesting things happened, or were announced to happen. Be sure to let us know your story of the month in the comments down below. This has been Sim Racer Monthly for August 2025, and until next time, take care and thank you for tuning in.